Well, hi, welcome to session number 5 for ADUC 2110. This is your welcome video to walk you through what you need to do for this particular session. In addition to just the response post, you also have another major assignment due, which is the Hot Topics in Education project. So let's go ahead and look at that. So for our module objectives, we're going to be looking specifically, as I mentioned, at a hot topic in education. You're going to pick one, select one, and actually develop a presentation tool or an essay pertaining to that educational topic. But we're going to look at essentially the major issues that are surrounding STEM education, specifically computer coding and technology in education, and why or why not it needs to be included in curriculum or into high school classes and even elementary courses. So it's a neat current issues topic. So here's our course plan, as we have always done. So we are in now session number 5, which is open until October 22nd. Remember, your response posts are due by the end of the semester, but you certainly do, I would encourage you to complete them beforehand. But you do have the Hot Topics in Education assignment, which is due October the 22nd. So make sure you get that in and turned in to me for evaluation. All right. So let's go ahead and come back and start off with our checklist. So this gives you an overview of everything you need for this particular module. But again, we are going to be talking about the Hot Topics project. That will take a bit, quite a bit of your time to put together and to research. So do give yourself enough time to do that. Okay. So the activities, of course, your field experience, hopefully that's going well. If you have been able to find and secure a spot. I hope you have by now. If not, please continue to do that. You do have to get those 8 hours in, so continue to work diligently to complete those hours. Let's look at the Hot Topics project. And so if you click on the link here, it takes you to actually what it is. And so I'm asking you to pick an educational issue, something of interest that you feel is a hot educational topic in schools, something that's really motivating you, or something you've experienced in schools, or even something you have seen or heard in the news. That would be an important issue. And so you're expected to actually either write an essay or create a technological web tool. So you can do SlideShare, you can do Prezi, VoiceThread, Glogster. I particularly have used Piktochart. It's really easy to do, and it's kind of fun to play around with, but basically it brings words and pictures together more so than PowerPoint, and a little bit more entertaining to look at and watch. But anyway, so an essay or a presentational artifact, your choice. Complete an analysis answering these questions in detail. And then do your critique or your interpretation of how this pertains to you, strengths and weaknesses of it, and those in opposition, those, encouraging that particular issue, so I can't get the words out. So find out what you are interested in wanting to do. The essay has some requirements here, and then the artifact has some requirements here as well. But I do want to show you the list of educational issues. So I've put together this list to kind of get you thinking, at least prompting some ideas of what you'd like to do. And so there's a list right here of things that have popped up in news and issues that students and teachers and parents have raised. So there's a couple things here that you might associate with. Some that have popped up recently in the news: transgender students in schools, locker rooms, those types of things. Educational choice and school vouchers, that's a big one, especially with Donald Trump in presidency now. His educational advisor, Betsy DeVos, has really challenged that ideology, and that could be shifting quite a bit in schools. But those are just a couple of ideas. Certainly there's more out there, and I encourage you to go to Google and to actually type in educational hot topics, for instance, and you of course get the all button, but if you click on the actual news button, you'll see that news articles will actually start to pop up about that, or you can type in hot topics in education, and news articles will pop up again for these, and kind of get you started on what's going on, what's transpiring, what's you know, what's in the news, I guess, so to speak. So that would be an initial idea. But there's some other things here. So some think tanks, websites here, educational journals, other, for instance, you know, newspapers. So New York Times, I put a link here to their educational paper site. So what are they talking about in education? So anyway, lots of things. A great start here is the newspaper, certainly, but other places to go as well, and then some blogs as well. So lots of things and lots of places to find. So just pick one thing, an educational issue, hot topic that's of interest to you, that you feel you want to investigate, research a little bit more, learn more about, and then create an artifact or an essay pertaining to that issue. So again, the guidelines are listed here, and then you're going to upload your you know, your assignment into the Word doc, or excuse me, into the Dropbox, using a Word doc for the essay or a link to your presentation artifact. Make sure that it's not private and that is public. Some of those websites or presentation tools enable you to, you know, hide it, but make sure it is public so I can view it. So that is the Hot Topics project. Now the Session 5 issue is STEM education. Again, coding, technology, computers, those types of things in Georgia schools. So there's a few things to read here and articles to explore. This one's a neat timeline that shows you the technology of schools and what has transpired since then. I remember the projectors on the screen where our teacher used to write on the projector onto the board, and it would project onto the screen, and then we got bonus points if we cleaned his projector from the dry erase markers and things like that. But those are just a few things that have certainly changed in technologies. And a couple other articles to read. This is a great TED Talk talking about why kids should learn how to code. What's the point of it? What else does it help transpire and encourage? So go ahead and look at that video, that TED Talk video. And then what is the state of computer science in Georgia specifically? So here's a link and some topics to that. Finally, moving down into, should we teach in elementary school? Is it really working? Those types of things. So lots of good issues to read and talk about. I'm sure you're somewhat of interest to this, even if you're not a tech person, but considering how much you use your cell phone, probably social media, even things such as, of course, like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all of that is technology. And so it has really now taken, I mean, applied to a personal level where it's something we really interact with on a daily and probably multi-hourly basis. So technology is important. Maybe it's not for everyone, but everyone does have an interest of some sort. So here's the prompt down here about teaching computer science in Georgia schools. See what you think. Complete that. And then over into our enrichment topic. Minnesota schools scrambling to catch up on computer coding classes. Essentially, there's so many students of interest that they don't have enough room to complete that. So we're starting to see this shortage throughout the United States, even in Georgia, where we're offering computer coding classes, and there's just not enough seats, or there's too many seats and not enough teachers, or they need people to actually write the programming and they can't keep up. So some interesting thoughts there. Anyway, that is all I have for this particular session. I hope you have a good one, and again, work on that Hot Topics project and learn a little bit more about coding. Thanks, guys. Have a great session.